Hello everybody, my name is Frank van Rooijen and I'm the creative director at MediaMonks. So for those who don't know who MediaMonks is, we are basically a global digital creative production partner and we create everything that's digital, whether that's a website, an AR experience, online video, anything digital, we love it. But tonight I want to talk about this. You're nothing but a swipe on someone's timeline. And it's actually a line that I use on a daily basis with my own clients because a lot of them are actually under the impression, don't tell anyone, that everyone is waiting and waiting to watch the content that they produce. But let me let you in on a little secret. No one is actually waiting for their content to be watched. So, everyone is on their phone, and I think we all sort of recognize these kind of situations, but it doesn't mean they're watching your content. But it's quite ridiculous, actually. People are addicted to their mobile phones. There's actually a word invented for it. It's called Nomophobia, which actually means the fear of being out of touch with your mobile phone. It's crazy. People cannot stop scrolling. And actually, on that note, how many meters do you guys think the average person scrolls in a day? Do a wild guess. 10? Anyone else? 18? That's quite conservative, because in actual fact, the average person scrolls 90 meters a day. So let's quickly put that into perspective. It's the Empire State Building, the Eiffel Tower, and that is you scrolling 90 meters a day. That's crazy, right? And why are you scrolling so much? Because there's so much content. Just to give you an example of how much content there is, let's look at YouTube. Every minute, 300 hours of content is being uploaded onto YouTube. So let that sink in for a second. 300 hours of content is being uploaded onto YouTube every minute. And the sad thing is, less than 100 people will see that content. So you can imagine the amount of time, love, energy, and money is wasted on content that will never, ever be seen by anyone. To make things even worse, and I promise it gets better, it gets more positive, but just to sketch the situation, these are live statistics of content that is being uploaded on the internet as we speak. So the amount of numbers, it's insane. The amount of content is insane. And sadly, there's also so much bad content and inappropriate content and obtrusive content that people have come to start to hate content and advertising. In actual fact, a lot of people would want advertising to die. They want content to die because they just have enough of it, you know. And if you don't believe me, I think the biggest proof of this point is this button right here. Can I see some hands who used this button before? Myself too. And why? Because there's so much shit out there. There's stuff that you're not waiting for. You want to show a piece of content to someone at a birthday party. There's a shitty ad. That's not personalized to you. That does nothing with you. There's just too much of it. The deeper underlying thought is way more worrying, because what if enough people skip ads? They might actually skip a whole industry, the whole advertising industry, which is quite a thing. So I want to talk to you about how can you still stand out in this day and age. You know, what can you do? And the answer is creativity. And creativity is the thing that we have over robots. Robots, we can teach them everything, but they're not creative. People are. So let's use the creativity. So if you sort of think, where does creativity come from? You can sort of drill it down to 3 situations. So let's dive in there. Creativity happens when there's a problem, when we're fucked. Just to give you an example. So you've been speeding on the highway, the police pulls you over, and comes to your window and says, "Sir, why were you speeding?" In that very instance, you get very creative. And you say, "Well, I was on the way to the hospital because my aunt is in the hospital, but I have to rush back because my babysitter's about to go home and my dog is not feeling so well, so I might have to go to the vet." You get super creative when there's a problem to be solved. Another point is when people get frustrated. People got frustrated with taxi fees. They got out of hand, so Uber said, "Fuck that. We're going to introduce a whole new model and we're going to make taxi fares affordable for everyone." So frustration, another sort of situation that sparks creativity. And the third situation that sparks creativity is boredom. So what do you do when you're bored? You know, like you want to watch, for instance, your favorite series. The thing you don't want to do is having to wait to watch the second episode 1 week later. Netflix understands that, so when they drop a season, they drop a whole season and not just one series. What they also understand is that people don't want to be interrupted by advertising, so there's no advertising on Netflix. So again, boredom also a great sort of territorium that sparks creativity. So what I want to talk to you about tonight are sort of 6 rules to break the rules, hacks to hack into people's attention again. So let's just dive straight into it. When you want to be creative, you got to be ballsy. So somewhere, somehow, there was someone that was in a restaurant and someone was choking, and they tried everything to get it out, and it wasn't working. So this person grabbed a ballpoint and slammed it into someone's throat. And you think that's crazy, right? But what it did is it opened the airway, so the person started breathing again, and then it got turned into an official sort of medical, how do you call it? Like ingreep. You got to be ballsy, but creativity can save lives. Number 2, fit for format. That's two things I want to discuss here. So first of all, the format itself. So let's just take cooking recipes as an example. So you're ready to try out a new recipe, you're in the kitchen, you've got all your ingredients ready, you've got your phone with your recipe, and you place it vertically next to your cooking station or the iPad. So why are there still people making recipe videos horizontally? It doesn't make sense. You know, and it's actually been proven by research, 90% of people don't turn their phone anymore. 90%. It's crazy. But what's also fit for format is, what do you actually do with the platform? So I brought you a nice Facebook example. So on Facebook, how can you be fit for that platform? How can you hack people's attention on that platform? So I quickly want to show you this example. Smart, memorable, you know, it made people stop. Rule number 3, make it unmissable, super important. There's also been a research, and it has turned out that people take 1.7 seconds to decide whether they want to interact with a piece of content or not. So, of course, there's a clever ad format, which is actually called the unmissable ad, and it's very sneaky, because it does its thing before you have been able to decide whether you want to watch it or not. So I've got 3 examples of 1.7 second ads that Disney and Pixar did to promote their new film. Again, it's quite amazing what you can do with 1.7 seconds. And you don't even have the option to skip it, because you've seen it already. Rule number 4, make it immersive. And this has to do with new technology. So there's always a lot of new technology out there. And a lot of people make the mistake by using a new technology for the sake of using the new technology. But I'm of the belief that new technology should always be in service of the concept. So in this example that I want to show you tonight is actually a project that I worked on myself. It's for our client KLM. And they came to us and they said, we have 3 destinations that are not so popular, that's sort of lagging a bit behind when it comes to people flying to these destinations. What can you do about it? So we came up with the idea to use augmented reality Facebook ads, which basically lets people virtually travel to their destination, check it out, and see if it sort of resonates with them. And then if they like it, they can already book the flight straight from within that experience. So I'm just going to quickly show you. So it arrives on your Facebook timeline as a normal ad. You click on it, your screen becomes full screen, and it takes over the environment that you are in at the moment. And it basically drops you right in front and in the middle of one of the sightseeing points of that destination. In this case, Taipei. So you can walk and look around. You can discover facts about that place. You know, what's the best time of year to go? Are there fun festivals? What is the best food to eat? All these kind of things. And if you like it, you can already immediately from within the experience book your flight directly. We pioneered this together with Facebook when it was just launched, and it was so successful. We're now doing a second iteration, so very fun project to work on. And the last sort of rule is make it personal. So also very important. There's been a lot of discussion about data and it being sort of invasive or data sort of sucking the life out of creativity. But I think that if you use data the right way, you analyze it, you take the right things out of it, and you base your creative concepts around it, you can do something that's really fun, personal, and creative. And one example I want to show you is also something we did for Netflix. They came to us to launch the 3rd season of Narcos, and they wanted to be YouTube ads, and they wanted it to be personal. So we looked at a lot of data entry points, and we individualize each single video. So if you look at the sort of the blueprint of what a video looks like, it starts on there. It starts here with an intro screen. We already know where you live, what kind of language you speak, so you get spoken to in your own language. The second is a sort of opening screen, and if we see that you're, for instance, in Saudi Arabia, you definitely won't see the one with the line of Coke and the bullet and the dollar. And then the next couple of scenes are scenes from the upcoming season, tailored towards your interest. And the end screen is also personalized. Again, we can see if you're a subscriber or not. If you're not a subscriber, you get a call to action to subscribe now. If we see you're already a subscriber, it says add to my list, and we tell you exactly the date that it's going to launch. So just to quickly show you 2 examples. So if you're into sports, then you get this version of the ad. And if we see that you're into business, you get this version of the ad. So of course we had a lot of fun. Some unlucky souls had to watch the whole season 3 to select the scenes. Shitty job, someone's got to do it. But anyway, I want to leave you with one last thought, and that's basically the next one. What is your personal 1.7 ad? So if you're in the audience and perhaps you're in a marketing function, or you have your own company, or you're just a normal person, what is your what is a normal person? Yeah, a normal person. What is your personal 1.7 ad? So how are you going to reach and hack the attention of the person or company or audience that you want to speak to? So I would like you all to give that a thought. And yeah, that's the end of my story. So thank you very much.